Hello, everybody, and welcome to the D-pad for our August. Wow, it looks so much darker in here tonight for some reason. I don't know why. I know that there was like kind of some shadows during. This is only the second time I've actually shown off any of the new place, and the lights are not very customizable right now. And I think in the garage, I have two of our standing lights that have the custom hue bulbs in there, which I have not yet found a good spot for because there's still so many boxes. There's boxes everywhere. I had to rescue a bunch of boxes today because we got a sudden super strong thunderstorm and I had to go and get stuff out of the garage before it got drowned in water. So that was fun. Things are very touch and go, but as you can see, we are in a new place. This wall didn't exist at the old apartment. At some point, I will run my phone through here and show off the space. Right now, it is a complete fucking mess, though. So I'd rather live in the quiet shame until next hangout. But I figured this is a good enough opportunity to do a public hangout. It's not just patrons this time around. I figured I would open it up to anybody who wanted to join. Man, the shadows on this side are like nuts. There's four little tiny lights on the ceiling, and I don't know how or if I can actually swap those out for anything a little bit more useful right now. I can't take the bulbs out, and the things that are holding the bulbs are screwed in a very specific way, so I'm just kind of running with it for now. So it's going to be a very by the seat of our pants Patreon hangout this time around. So many boxes, nobody will. Yeah, I mean, granted, it's the inside of the house, fortunately. So I don't know how much we're gonna be seeing the outside of this house. Just as a precautionary thing. You don't want to It's one thing when it's an apartment, and it is both not a place that I own, and it is not a place I intend to stay for a long time. The purpose of this particular house is that I would like to live here for the next 60 years. So I would prefer to not give clues, Yeah, I won't be able to. I got some ideas for stuff for the games. In fact, speaking of which, we are in the midst of finalizing both the team rosters and the events themselves for the games, and we're hoping to start recording that in the next couple weeks. So things are going to be good in that regard. I'm very excited for it. It's bigger this year, and I think people will be excited to see. I will be excited to see how the format feels as a result. But that's been kind of a good chunk of today. Something that I wanted to. Speaking of running out the door with a torch for the games and all of that stuff, as I mentioned before, we're in a new house, which means that the apartment that we lived in and recorded in for just under 6 years is now in the rear view mirror. And it was funny. I thought about it and I was like, oh, okay, so that's half of the D-pad's lifespan. But then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, but 2011 to 2013, we barely made anything. And then 2013 to 2014 was Zelda. And then only in 2015 did we actually start doing real live video stuff. We started doing the live intros and even outros with Mega Man 1. Oh man, you know what? This is really low. It's giving me the cat's eye thing. We started doing intros with Mega Man 1 in January of 2015. So all but about 3 years, so about 2/3 of the time that we've been producing, live video content, or I guess recorded live footage of us, it was in the previous apartment, and it was kind of very strange to leave that space, and it's kind of weird to consider that this is now the third and hopefully final location where we're going to be, doing that stuff with the live video, especially. And I just wanted to share a little something that I threw together. I thought it'd be a nice way to bid adieu to the old apartment, and I think it's something special. Is what I would like to say, except that the video that I was putting together for this is not quite done yet. It'll be done later this weekend. You can keep an eye out for that. But there's a little sweet send-off that is going to be coming out this weekend for the old apartment. And I'm pretty happy with the idea, and I'm pretty happy with where we're at with it. I'm trying to fix this light so it's not so bad here. I need to find the other desk lamp to even me out on the other side. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's weird to think about that space is gone for good, unless we suddenly want to make really good friends with the people that live there, which is not happening. But yeah, no. Speaking of Goj, yeah, I don't know how much we've actually discussed that. I know it's come up very slightly in a couple videos. I think Pokemon, it came up a couple times in the recent Brilliant Diamond videos or something. It's come up recently. I think when John was here last, or I say here, recording with us last. But yeah, no, Peter is now in charge of the monster cat. No, it sounds like Goji is doing really well over there. I hope that is still true. We had some sneaking suspicions over the last year or two, especially, that Goj just really wants to be like a solo cat. And is not really interested in sharing space with other cats. And it sounds like that is kind of the case. Seems like she's gotten really comfortable over at Peter's place. Seems like she is very, very happy. Super sweetheart. Oh, that's great. I am so glad that she is doing well and that you are doing well with her. It was not a decision that Sarah and I came to very easily at all. And there was definitely a good amount of guilt and maybe even shame, I guess, in some ways, that was what, stuff kind of came to. Goj always kind of bullied Tonk a little bit and did not get along with Zima basically at all. Which was okay-ish for a while when John was living at the apartment, or when more of us were at the apartment, so that the cat's attention could be split. But both Goj and Zima really Zima's been Sarah's cat for, I don't know, 11 years now, something like that. And when John was out in California, Goj kind of, wound up considering Sarah to be mom. And that kind of, I think, started the chain reaction, I guess, of where things kind of went there. And it got to a point where Zima was having some bad anxiety stuff. She was pulling out fur on her belly. Which is usually a pretty good sign that a cat is super, super stressed out. So we were like, okay, we need a better solution than this. So Goj is now living with Peter. We do, in fact, have a new house. Hello, Ground Poundable. We do have a new house, and Tonk and Zima are with us here, and both of them seem a lot more comfortable, which is really good. When we moved into the old apartment, Tonk basically lived in Ben's closet and bed for at least the first month that we were there. She straight up didn't leave those rooms at all. We had to coax her out of the room with treats, and even then it would be a couple steps and she would just run back. So that was a whole thing then. But there were a lot of elements to that. She knew Sarah, but she didn't have all of Sarah's stuff around. Zima was now around, so another new cat that was being introduced, new apartment, and also John had been gone for a while from the previous apartment too, so that was also a thing that was in there. So that on top of Goj being stressed too, she was kind of a mess there. Here, she definitely still is kind of nesting upstairs for the most part, but she does come downstairs into the main floor. She comes into the basement less, but she's getting there. Within 2 days, she was down in the living room and kind of wandering around. So Tonk is definitely doing better this time around than she was last time. Zima had no problems at all. She was just sweet, let's do this, wandering around. She actually was hanging out down here with me more than she was with Sarah for a little while. Less this last couple days, but it was just interesting that was how that kind of went down. But yeah, so the cat situation, that's where that's at. It seems like all of the cats are happier for it, and that makes me very happy. And yeah, I don't know. I'm like sitting on my foot, and my foot is falling asleep. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. It was tough. It felt in some ways similar to like, not to the same level, obviously, but it's, everyone does the whole thing where they call their pets their fur babies, and it kind of feels like giving up a child for adoption in some ways, right? Like, so that it was kind of a tough thing to work with, but but yeah, so that is where that's at. I want to tilt this without it falling. Oh, there we go. I don't know what I fixed. Cool. But yeah, so that is where the cats are at. I know I'm super low in the frame. The camera, I've been trying to futz with. The angle, it's so much higher up than it normally is that like I can't tilt it down enough without it just falling over, like falling off the monitor. So I have to fix that. But that is where that's at. But yeah, no, we're settling in. There's been a lot of growing pains. There's a lot of stuff that we're like trying to figure out. We've been getting a lot of there's a decent amount of land actually. So we've got to call like a lawn person who can, help take care of that. 'Cause it's like a little bit too much for us to be able to handle reliably, on our own. Like it would need one of us, we would need to like trade off weekends where one of us loses most of like a whole day just to like take care of that, as opposed to, oh, here's like 2 or 3 dudes on riding mowers and stuff that can take care of it in a couple hours every like other week or 3 weeks or something like that. So it's weird. It's a very different style of thing, and it's funny because like in a lot of ways it's very similar to where I grew up. I grew up on a little cul-de-sac in the middle of the forest, but it was in a city. It was just on the outskirts of the city. It was very interesting, but it's quieter out here. You basically can't see anything when it gets dark because there's no street lights that are close enough to us, because we have like a long driveway and stuff too. So it's just like, it's really good. Let's see. Yeah. Food stress definitely makes sense too. Both Goj and Zima are like food obsessed. Goj especially will like you put the can down in front of her empty, she will sit there for hours going at that can. And she's not malnourished, she's not underfed, she just wants every last micron of food inside her belly. But yeah, so I don't know. The recording setup has been very I don't want to say slapdash because that seems a little bit overly negative, but I currently am using a box as a footrest. The audio laptop is right here, right under a different monitor than the one that I've been using, which is sitting on top of the audio rack, the soundboard. I have a handful of hard drives very perilously stacked on this table, and I need to find another solution quickly because the like end table that all of this is sitting on is directly over the base of a brick fireplace. So if anything falls, that is like catastrophic death of that hard drive. So we got some stuff to figure out. I got some stuff to figure out. Oh yeah. We got this bad boy right here. This is what I was playing Violet with last night. No. That is just, I just really liked it, and it happened to have the green and the pink kind of vibes to it too. Neat, more comets. There was the Pleiades, like I don't know, maybe not 6 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and we caught a couple of those while we were out in Pennsylvania. But I'll have to keep an eye out. It's definitely very distant from the city here. We are like, we're a good like 10 to 15 minute drive from the center of town, which itself is a pretty small town. I guess more like 10 minutes. We're like a 20-minute drive from a bigger city for sure. The Litlian hits, nice. I do like the Pro Controller designs. I had a bad habit of grabbing Xbox controllers, the like Pro Controllers for those, anytime like a new interesting one came out, because their designs are really fucking sharp. I I need to watch myself and not be doing that too much. PO box situation is not active right now. I put in for a new PO box, so as soon as that is set, I will make sure to let folks know. It'll probably be set sometime later this month, and then I'll make the real announcement for it for the next Hangout. The old PO box, I believe I closed. I sure hope I did, because it's about to renew. If I didn't, I'll have to double check on that. But definitely do not send to the current PO box in Somerville. That is no longer going to be one that I'm going to be checking. Even if it does renew, I'm not going to be checking on that one. So do not send anything to Somerville. We do not live in Somerville anymore. Don't send anything to Somerville. Let's see. How difficult, easy will it be to get the crew together for recording now? So it depends on who. Some easier, some will be harder. CJ, Felice, and Ben are going to be a good deal further away. We have talked with CJ a bit about him taking the train out in order to do recording now and then. And likewise, I can go back to him and bring essentially a luggage thing with all the necessary stuff. Peter's a little bit closer. I think Jeff is a little bit closer. I think Dave is a little bit closer. John is definitely closer. Lindsay is currently on the other side of the country, so it doesn't really. Ironically, the weekend before we moved, Lindsay happened to be in town again. It was like, hey, we should hang out, and can I park in your parking spots? And we're like, we're going to a wedding, and also we are literally moving in 5 days, so I don't know how much we can hang out. But yeah, Ian I think is closer. Dustin is absolutely closer. Who am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting folks. I think that's fairly standard. Sanchez is further away for a bunch, but oh yeah, the heart icon does weird stuff on there. I really wish they didn't do that. Beeble is also further away. He is still out in the Boston area for the time being. He and his wife are starting to peak kind of vaguely around here, and if that's the case, then they'll be closer again as well. We do in fact have we've gone from having one official spare room to 2 official spare rooms. One of them is actually ready right now. One of them is going to be ready eventually, maybe the end of this year or something. But yes, we do have guest rooms situated for overnight stays. Isn't John still in California? No, John came back from California. Oh boy, how long ago was that? Maybe 2-ish years ago, something like that. Somewhere around 2-ish years ago, he came back from California. He has been splitting his time between Southern Mass and Connecticut is kind of where he's at right now. So he is much closer as a result of where he's been for the last 2-ish years. But yeah. Hello. Welcome. But yeah, I think I'm trying to think if there's anybody that I'm forgetting from the list of at least folks who are pretty regular. It didn't have to be every last person whoever was on, but it says generally just about everybody. We haven't had Teddy out to record anything, though he is closer than he would have been before. Trying to think. I think Jose is also very distant at this point. He would have been closer now, but he moved pretty far away. Ashley, I don't actually know where Ashley lives. I assume that she's vaguely Boston-ish, so I would have to assume that we're further away from her now. But off the top of my head, I don't actually know where Ashley lives. I feel bad not knowing that. Granted, I don't think we've had her on in 5 or 6 years. So yeah, equally, Ben's sister Kate was on for a handful of episodes a million years ago. I have no idea where she normally is either. I mean, she was never. She was more. So one, she has her own. She has her own channel and thing going on altogether. Just fixing my seat there. Yeah, Melee would have been. I think 20. Was that Christmas 2018? Something like that. So about 5 years, I think. But yeah, Ashley has her own channel. I don't know if she does YouTube. I know she does Twitch with Lady Saylah, LadySeylah. And yeah, I don't know if she. I mean, she's always welcome to come and hang out. I don't think she was ever really intending on like being like a main featured player kind of deal, but she's known Ben forever. I think she was actually Ben's boss for a while. On top of that, and I don't know, she seemed to have fun. Certainly welcome. Certainly would love to have her back anytime if she was down for it. We're actually trying to figure out who of our extended circle of friends might be able to come out for some recording things as stuff kind of cools down over the coming months. Essentially, like 2024, I would love to do a little bit more collaborative stuff with a couple people. I've been chatting a couple folks up, hitting up people in their DMs to figure out some more collaborative things. So hopefully that means that we'll have some stuff going on in the future. That'll be pretty cool. We have a pretty big list of stuff that we're working on over the next like 3.5 months still. Making pretty good progress on it. I don't think there's much so far that I'm like, oh no, that's really slipped. Yeah, pretty well on target actually. I've got most of the stuff that I had down for that were like I have a big like list of essentially what was in the big teaser for 2023 and like month markers essentially for when I'm like kind of targeting for some of these things. And like, yeah, most of these are looking pretty good so far. I don't think anything is like looking rough or anything, so that's pretty cool. I'm just kind of scrolling down there real quick to see. Oh, I've actually even got a couple extras that weren't in the video too, so that'll be fun. I do take it back. There's exactly one thing that I'm slightly not sure about, and that is Pokemon Insurgents. And the reason for that is I cannot find my original save file. I may have to use... I've already forgotten the name of the program, but I've already downloaded it. There's a program that you can use that can run exe files while capturing the data in them, so you can make modifications on the fly. So there's not PK Hex, because I don't know if that actually works with Insurgents. If it does, that's even better, to be honest, because I will gladly just take a couple level 100s, plow through, and then... Yeah, I was going to say, I thought PK Hex was for official ROMs of the game. But yeah, no, there is a... For the life of me, I can't remember the name of the program. But it's one that gets used for Pokemon fan games a lot. Essentially, the way that it tends to work in terms of like editing, like hex editing, is during, like at various points, you like search for certain values, and it'll give you a list of all the points that have that. And then you keep recursively searching. So it's like, okay, my Pokemon's got 75 hit points. I've taken damage, and now he's got 63 hit points. You search for 75, then you search for 63, and then you're able to like narrow it down really tightly and go, hey, okay, cool. Give my Pokemon 10,000 hit points. That way, I have no chance of getting killed, and I plow through. And I think what I'm literally likely to do is... assuming I can't find it, there's a non-zero chance that I could stumble across it. The old recording, I still have my old recording laptop, but the place where the game saves normally are stored is empty. It has the folder, but it is empty. So it's possible that it's on one of about 80 different USB drives that I've got left over from like older days. It's possible it could be on one of my damaged hard drives that I've been like working hard to, offload stuff from. So September is probably going to be a good chunk of me just like dumpster diving through my old stuff to try to find it. And failing that, I'm just going to replay the game. My plan was literally to watch the old series, all 138 episodes, of the original run so that I could essentially take notes, because I remember very little of the story. I remember very few of the characters. It would be good to have some of that a little bit fresher in my memory, so I don't just go in there, what am I doing, and then get killed immediately. But yeah, if I can't by the end of the month find that save file, then I'm probably just going to replay with whatever the I really wish I could remember what it was called. Whatever the thing was called. Actually, do I have it in my... I might have it in my recently downloaded folder, because I haven't done anything with it yet. So there's... Yeah, Pokemon Insurgents 127, which I believe is the most recent version of that. But I don't see the actual program, which means I've moved it elsewhere. Let me check a couple things real quick here. It's not there. Is it on my desktop? Not seeing it. So I'm going to have to look around to see where I actually even put that, unfortunately, but that's okay. That's not a huge problem right now. Actually, is that it right there? Let me check something real quick here. What is it? Oh, no, that's a different thing. Never mind. I was like, oh, is it Obsidian? And no, Obsidian is basically just a desktop version of a MediaWiki thing. I've been fiddling around with a couple things just for like better organization of notes for things. Just because I like to have a bunch of interlinked stuff, and sometimes it gets a little bit confusing for me. So, yeah, no sign of that's okay. Not a big deal right now. But yeah, so again, I'm getting like way off track. If I am not able to find what I'm looking for by the end of the month, then I'm probably going to just, yeah, nope, very understandable. I am probably going to even myself wind up like, I don't know, watching and skipping certain battles. Like, I don't need to watch the Moody Smeargle fight. I know how it went down, and nothing like meaningful happened during there as far as like story stuff goes. So I don't need to like re-watch that entire thing. Same goes for a lot of the gym battles. But essentially, if I have to redo the game, I'm going to use the hex editor to, as closely as I possibly can, replicate the Pokemon that I had caught before that still survived, to the best of my ability. I know that like EVs and IVs are a little bit harder to gauge for some of that, but that's fine. I think I'll live. And if it's not exact, it's really not that important. Yeah, I think I will be taking some time to do that this fall, so that by the end of the year we can get back into Insurgents, because Brilliant Diamond is getting kind of close. We have actually already recorded. I know that the calendar hasn't been updated in a couple weeks just because moving has been so all-encompassing. We've actually got the next... we recorded 16 episodes in one go to get through the rest of Chapter 8. So we have another 11 that haven't gone up right now. And John is going to be coming by this weekend to record Shining Pearl, among other things. So we are still moving forward. And then depending on how stuff goes for that last leg, we may be pretty close to end game and post game. So I'm pretty good. I'm not going to try to immediately start, like, when Insurgents is ready, we'll do it. I'm not going to make a point of like, okay, the second Brilliant Diamond is done, Insurgents is starting. Not important. Violet is relegated to streams, so there is no new Pokemon stuff I have to worry about for the next year. So I'm not gonna worry too much about that. But yeah, so that's where that stuff is. Most of the rest of the list is looking pretty good though. I'm feeling pretty confident about just about all of it. To be honest, it's been. I was worried about. I had a list of things I needed to do before we left the apartment, and that stuff has all been cleared now. So all of the stuff I needed to do before, while we still had the apartment, is taken care of, and now we've got a bunch of other stuff going on as a result. But yeah, I guess we may as well get into some of where things are in general, though, right? Tears of the Kingdom. I recorded the rest of this week's stuff. We have a Saturday and Sunday episode because there were some delays. We had a lot going on and I didn't get a chance to record until Wednesday night. So we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to close out the week there. And then we're continuing. And then we're continuing next week beyond that. I don't know why this thing is being such a pain in the ass tonight. Hang on a second. Oh, it's because of that right there. Oh, Jesus. All right. You know what? We're just gonna live with it. Oh yeah, no. There were kind of two reasons for that. One is we have a tendency to like either just wander aimlessly forever or get laser focused and ignore interesting stuff going on. And I was trying to find a balance between those. We had a bunch of caves, which were just good to explore, and we even found some new and interesting equipment, which is nice. Part of it too is like especially as I got near the end of the 4 episodes I recorded, I was like, I don't know that I want to like kick off the real plot until we've got other folks around. It already felt a little bit weird getting into Goron City without other people. And I was like, okay, there is probably enough stuff for me to get 4 episodes of things around Goron City without like painfully stretching it out. So literally the first thing that is going to happen in the next recording session for the video that goes up Monday, episode 86, is going to be us going into the middle of Goron City and talking to Yunobo. Like we have done all of the other stuff. We have observed all the other things. Mild spoilers. We've gone and like we've bought the rest of the equipment and stuff. Like we've done all the other stuff that we really wanted to do for the time being. So we're gonna go and yeah, like honestly, it's just like I'm familiar with my own limitations. I know that solo commentary is not my specialty. So being able to have, other folks present for the main plot stuff, I think is probably beneficial for the videos. So I want to try to do that as best I can. But yeah, so that's going to be continuing. No signs of that slowing down. We're obviously going to be playing this game through the end of the year, even with half-hour episodes. I would be extremely surprised if we didn't play this into 2024. There's like an outside chance that we do finish it before the end of the year, but I really don't think that's happening. Because I think for us to finish it by the end of the year, we would need to end it somewhere in the ballpark of like episode 150, 160, and I don't really see that happening. I think it's going to be like more like 180 or so. It is probably going to take us into like January, if I had to guess. Maybe even February, who knows. But yeah. Actually, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I don't know if we're doing it this weekend just because we're still have so much stuff going on, but we are going to be recording the Unchained Key commentary soon so that we can get into what's next? I think not back cover. 0.2 Birth by Sleep, I believe. So that's going to be hello Peyton Tube. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, no, I have the Kingdom Hearts Key stuff. It's just I just have to sit down and actually edit it at this point. The video that we watched, I cobbled together from a bunch of loose clips. So I want to clean that up a little bit. And we're probably not this weekend. It might go up next weekend. I don't think I'm going to have it done in time for this weekend with the other stuff. I need to do both of the next Zelda videos. I have to do get the next 2 Star Force episodes ready, and I have 2 other big videos in the works right now for this weekend. So, so I did a little research on back cover and 0.2. They both kind of like equally lean into the other and pseudo spoil each other a little bit. I'm not super worried about it because it's all happening in such a tight cluster of time. I'm basically just going off of release date at this point. It seems like the easiest way to go. And it would have been how people would have experienced all this stuff when it first came out too. It also is a nice way to break up what would otherwise be 3 consecutive, or is it even 4? It might even be 4 consecutive sit and watch things. So being able to like play it, like watch 2 things, play something, watch 2 things, play Kingdom Hearts 3, is kind of where that's at. I guess that's true. I was also going off of Square Enix also had like a recommended order, which they do get wrong in one specific spot early on. They recommend that people play 358/2 before Kingdom Hearts 2, which seems extremely wrong to me. Like that's egregiously wrong. The argument there apparently being like, yeah, that way in Kingdom Hearts 2, you're continuing playing as Roxas when yada yada. It's like, yeah, but no, the whole point of the prologue of Kingdom Hearts 2 is the mystery of like, what the fuck am I doing here playing as this guy that almost looks like Sora. And the ending goes right into 3. Gotcha. Well, I mean, we'll see. We got some time before we get there, so we may shift things, but we shall see. But yeah, so Kingdom Hearts, we are hoping to get back on its feet soon. At the very least, the plan is to, regardless of the order that we do them in, the plan is to get to 0.2 Birth by Sleep before the end of the year. Probably like, I don't know, October, November. It's really going to depend how all the other more complicated projects are going. But yeah, so we'll see. But I'm excited to get back into it. It's been a long time since we got some Kingdom Hearts going, and I'm itching to get back in. Meanwhile, the fucking Sonic franchise cannot stop releasing stuff this year. 3 separate DLCs. We had Sonic Origins Plus. We're about to get Sonic Superstars. And it's like, oh my god, guys, just give it the tiniest bit of a rest. There's too much. I actually forget Sonic Frontiers DLC 3 is coming out very soon. I think within the next like 2-ish weeks. I have to double check. All of my. Oh yeah, and the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. I forgot that was this year. Jesus. Sonic Superstars is in October, and we're gonna play that as soon as it releases. I'm planning to get Sonic Rivals going this coming week. I originally wanted to have it already started for this week, but stuff was way too crazy, and I didn't have a chance to. I didn't have a chance to record the intro for it. I wanted to record an intro before we left the apartment, actually, but didn't get a chance, and life comes first. So that might be a thing that I take care of this weekend. And yeah, Sonic Rivals 2, we've got about 2 weeks of that already recorded. We'll be recording some more probably this weekend. And when Sonic Superstars comes out, we're going to have to see whether whether we pause or not is going to depend on whether we're done with Sonic Frontiers or not. If we are still playing Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Rivals is going to have to pause again until at least one of the Sonic Superstars and Sonic Frontiers is done. And if Sonic Frontiers is already over, we might just keep doing Sonic Rivals while Sonic Superstars is going on. I'm not certain, just because they're like, I don't want them to step on each other's toes too much, but I don't know. Yeah, we've already played through one plot. We've already played through one story. It's so weird because they took the 4 storyline thing from Sonic Rivals 1, where you play as Sonic or Shadow or Knuckles or Silver, and they did that again, except you have a teammate this time. So like Sonic has Tails, and Shadow has Omega or something. Silver, I think, has Blaze. Everyone's got a partner, but you have to play those team things twice. You have to play each of them again. So there's technically 8 playthroughs, even though I'm pretty sure the two versions of a given team's playthrough are going to be almost identical in terms of both gameplay. I think the only gameplay difference is that you play the opposite character for each of those stages, and the plot itself is going to be the same, I think. So I don't know. I really don't understand. Yeah, we're going to see. I think... Oh, yeah, no, it's Shadow and, like, Metal Sonic or something. I think they're together, and they just don't like each other, so that's fun. Sonic Rivals is the 2.5D side-scrolling race game where there's, like, there's mascot racing elements to it where you have, like, powers to hit each other and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. The sooner we get through it, the better. Even knowing what other stuff is waiting for us in the near future, getting through Sonic Rivals 2 will be a blessing. Unfortunately, there is an extremely high chance that Sonic Rivals 2 is going to take us the rest of the year. We've recorded 11 episodes, and that is approximately 1.5 stories out of 8. So, odds are this is going to be like a 50-episode series, which means we're probably playing it through September and October into at least November. So that's going to be great. But yeah, I'm excited for Sonic Superstars, though. That'll be good. We're going to be doing our damnedest, I think, to do that as a 4-player co-op thing, similar to Kirby's Return to Dreamland and Return to Dreamland Deluxe. 4 Swords and 4 Swords Adventures from back in the day, stuff like that. Yeah, I just want to, at this point, it's like, man, I just want to get back to reliably just doing Sonic. All of these things that keep getting dropped in the middle have made it really hard to, like, keep that train moving, but it is what it is. Mega Man, I don't know if we're going to get back into Street Fighter Cross Tekken this week, but it'll be happening this month. We already recorded the whole series. I want to get the next game started as well, and I have a video that I'm trying to put together that comes out before those that's been, like, super backburned for a while, and I want to get that on its feet as well, so we'll see how that goes, but it'll be nice to get Mega Man moving again. We are about to enter, like, oh god, what year would that even be? We're about to enter essentially the most recent decade, essentially, once we're there. When's MVC Infinite? That is on the list. Where is that on the list right now? Oh yeah, that's pretty far down, actually. Actually, where the hell is it on here? It is on this list. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we're not going to be seeing that one for a while. We're certainly not seeing it this year. Further or closer than Azure Striker Gunvolt? Oh, that's way after Azure Striker Gunvolt. Super, super far after Azure Striker Gunvolt. There's like a dozen things between the two of those. So, yeah. There is a non-zero chance that we won't even see MVC Infinite next year. We're going to have to hustle big time. Project Cross Zone is coming up fairly quickly, though. That one is actually coming up relatively quickly. I need to figure out how I'm going to do that because I would like to get into Persona 4. We do have the Nightmare streams as well. And Project Cross Zone is going to be there too. I do have a physical copy of Project Cross Zone, yes. I have a physical copy of both. Although I know that I forget if there's downloadable stuff that I would have had to worry about for those, but it's too late. So, that's how it is. But yes, there's a whole bunch of Mega Man left. We're going to start getting back into proper Mega Man fan games in the mix as well, so that'll be good. Project Cross Zone and Cross Zone 2 were fully localized for a number of different audiences. Whereas Namco Cross Capcom was not. That was not, and that I think that was an exclusively Japanese release. And what we played was a fan-made translation pack for it. That is actually one of the few projects I've wanted to go back to. Is I would really love to go through, figure out how they did that in the first place, and make a better one because it's really bad and borderline extremely confusing, to be fucking dead honest. I would love to make a better translation pack for Namco Cross Capcom. I would love to fix Rockman Strategy similarly. But yeah, so yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of stuff coming up. I need to keep up to date on more recent developments in the Mega Man fan game sphere, because this year, in the same way this year has been big for Sonic as a franchise, it's also been a fucking banner year for Mega Man fan games. It's been, or rather, Mega Man inspired indie games. There's been a lot this year, and I'm trying to keep my head around all of them as best I can. I have to update my lists. But that is where that is. Resident Evil 4. I guess I should stay in Mega Man for a second. Star Force, we only have this weekend recorded right now, but we're going to record some more this weekend. Not a ton else to say there. We have recorded 2 more episodes after the big wham moment from part 28. So we've gotten a little bit of aftermath and are about to get started on the next leg of our journey. So that's gonna be a whole thing, but hopefully we'll be able to record a bunch of that, keep that one moving. Yeah, kind of feels that way in some ways. Yeah, that was a lot. That was kind of a lot. But I'm impressed that they had the balls to pull a move like that, even if it feels like it's not going to be permanent. It still was a hell of a move in the first place. I legit can't think of any other game that has gone that far with it. In the Mega Man series, the closest I can think is, I guess that's not totally true. Zero gets killed twice in the X series and then revived. Is that kind of it, actually? I'm trying to think how frequently allies get the big old axe. Yeah, and then 04, he sacrifices his life. He is completely obliterated in the crash of... Is that Elysium? Or no, Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok is the name of the ship that was there. But yeah, they're also... Zero is also a robot. Or at least more robot than... No, Zero is fully robot. Even in the ZX series where the line between Reploid and human is blurred, he is fully... Not just Reploid, he is strictly speaking still a robot master. So yeah, I think this is the first time we have witnessed a human character just get blown the fuck apart. Yeah, you could make an argument for Dr. Weil, not Wily, but Weil or Whale or however you want to however you want to pronounce his name, the villain of 0, 3, and 4. Because you definitely kill the fuck out of him. And he was, I believe, mostly human. Yeah. Where was I? Resident Evil 4. I was about to jump into that one. Resident Evil 4, we've actually recorded the rest of the game for that. And we straight up have another month and a half worth of episodes in the can. We did a lot of legwork before leaving Somerville to get that game done. Off the top of my head, I believe we have another 26 episodes already recorded. So you'll be seeing that for another about 5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks and change. After which there might be a cooldown period. It depends how well we're situated in here. Hello, Sin Killer. Yes, we've got a lot of moving boxes. It's been touch and go. It's also been very hot. This is the hottest fucking week. So, of course, it's the one where, we have to be moving boxes and shuffling things around. but it has been going pretty well. Um, Resident Evil 4. We already talked Kingdom Hearts. Pokemon Sword: The Crown Tundra. Ben may actually be coming out in one of the upcoming weekends to do stuff, and if we are able to get him and Jeff together, then we will do our damnedest to keep doing Crown Tundra with the two of them while we have them. After that, if we're able to figure out a timeline that Ben can make it out, then we'll keep it going with both of them. If it seems like it's going to be like a once every couple months kind of deal, then we might sally forth without just to get that one off the table at long last, basically. We probably bought about 100 boxes from Home Depot, and that is on top of the 30 to 40 that we borrowed from our friends who are now extremely close neighbors. They live down the street. It's amazing. We probably had around 125 to 140 boxes in total, and that's boxes. That's not counting TVs, furniture, like guitar cases and all that stuff. Oh, you can resell boxes. We were probably just going to either hang on to some of them or recycle, but we'll see. I don't know. Might look that stuff up. We haven't gotten rid of any of them yet, but can you? I don't think so. I don't. I was surprised that you had said it just because I was like, oh, is that a thing? To my knowledge, I don't think you can resell them, just because they would be a little bit worn down and they would be not quite as sturdy, I guess, right? How many electronics randomly broke? So far, I don't think anything. No. Well, nothing is broken on at the point of like hooking it up. The only electronic thing that broke, off the top of my head, is the double wide monitor. Unfortunately, we tried to pack it a little too tight, and when I plugged it in, it had a gnarly spider web on the right half of it. So unfortunately, unless I can get that thing repaired, that thing is just dead. Which is a bummer because those things are fucking expensive. I didn't buy it. I kind of inherited it from John. So I don't feel as bad. If I bought that, I would have been like, no, this thing is traveling on my lap. I'm not letting it go. I should have done that to start with, but we were on like 8 consecutive days of like 10 to 15 hours straight of packing and moving and packing and moving and packing and moving, and it's just like I can't think. We just got to get stuff going and we got to get out of here. But yeah, so we will see. I gotta see if I can get also the serial number on the back, because I forget if it's like Toshiba or something, but I went to the website and it's like, oh, look up repairs. All right, put the model number in, and it's like, oh, that model number doesn't exist. And it's like, oh, good. So I'm just fucked then. That's cool. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how likely it is that that's going to be something that is going to be fixable. The bummer of that is we record Kingdom Hearts and Resident Evil in HDR because we're using the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and it gives us really, really nice 4K. And also, for some reason, I don't know why this is, but when we record in HDR, the file size is actually smaller than it is when not in HDR, which seems backwards, but that is apparently the way it is. I don't know why. The Elgato can still handle HDR. I'm just less positive that I will be able to like see it as clearly on this computer. So I don't know. So much the money is that panel. That's true. And that's the thing is like, I don't know how much that monitor costs right now, but when it came out, that was like $1,000 monitor. And it's almost certainly been more than the warranty number of years. And I wasn't even the one who bought it in the first place. So I'm pretty sure I'm just shit out of luck on the monitor front. I suppose it is possible that they will do trade-ins, because if the screen is the only part that is broken, and they can swap out the screen, then maybe I can trade it in and get, most of the cost of a new one off because they just have to slip a new screen in. But then again, the screen is the expensive part, so like maybe not. I don't know. So we'll see. I don't know. I got to figure that out. We're trying not to spend gross ass amounts of money on things right now. So I'm trying my hardest to not go and do that, Thought I heard something over on the side here. Let's see. What else am I missing? Pokemon Legends Arceus. That one's kind of on the back burner right now. For two reasons. One is we have enough other projects that are in the works right now, and we're at a great break point in that. Two, Peter is doing the old King Richard's Fair thing, so he's not available on weekends, though, midweek stuff I know that I am pretty available for, so we might do some of those. But there is lots of other stuff that is higher priority for the short term, so I'm not going to go. Like, if we had basically nothing else to record, I would probably consider just just continuing on with that, and like even if it was like solo episodes or whoever else is here. But that one might be a little bit backburned for a little bit while we start clearing out other stuff. And yeah, everything else is kind of in, not like flux or anything, but Zelda on Wednesday is far more likely than Arceus. That's true too. Yeah. Getting more Zelda done is always nice wherever we can, just because it gives us the ability to breathe a little bit, for sure. Yeah. I'm excited. We are working on planning our first major day of recording of events for the games in the next couple of weeks. And that should be a good time. We've got some fun stuff picked out, finalizing with team captains, and then we're off to the races, literally and figuratively. I can hear my voice going right now. I think I've been slowly catching up on sleep, but my voice is definitely very tired. I'm just kind of looking down through stuff right now, but any hints of the upcoming marathon stream? We're aiming to do the marathon stream on September 23rd, so 2 weeks from tomorrow as this is live, 2 weeks from today as the VOD goes live. We are essentially continuing with the delivery theme, this time a little bit more literally. I feel bad that we didn't wind up doing it on Labor Day weekend, because it would have been a great double entendre, almost triple entendre at that point, because we're going to be playing Yoshi's Island. And if we have more time, we're going to play more Yoshi's Island games to try and raise the remainder of the $1,000 goal that we had for the Stack Up charity, raising money for veterans' mental health care and mental health awareness. Also sending out gaming gear to folks that are stationed overseas. There's also taking veterans to like gaming events and things like that too. So a lot of cool stuff. I think they're good people. They're great folks. The organization is pretty cool. I actually have to reach out to them to figure out a couple things as well. Nothing too serious, just kind of like they have an internal calendar and they like publicize stuff as it's coming up, so that'll be cool. But yeah, so Yoshi's Island. It should be a good time. I'm a big fan of Yoshi's Island. I think a lot of people are. And we all love to pretend that the only Yoshi's Island game is Yoshi's Island. So we'll see what that's all about. But yeah, so that's where that's at. We are planning on doing Extra Life this year. There is one idea that's been kind of floated, especially if we're just like if we're still burned out from all of the moving and all of the other crazy stuff that's going on. We have one idea that is going to be real casual, but possibly a really good time. So we'll see. But that is for another day. We will have an announcement for that sometime in probably early October. We want to get into games recording first, and then we will start hashing out and we want to get through the special delivery stream before we start looking at Extra Life. And then after Extra Life, in December at the end of the year. We're gonna have another Donkey-thon. I got some stuff I'm deciding what specifically I want to do for that, because part of the original idea was, I should like pick a thing to just do every year. But I'm also, again, just going like, but do I want to do the exact same thing, or do I want to do stuff with a twist or do something a little differently? I don't know. Oh yeah, best of the Legendary Let's Play. I originally had planned to do the best of Zelda 1 on the anniversary date, which I think I did. I think I got that up on the right date. I had the date wrong at first, and then I looked it up and was like, oh, that's tomorrow. Perfect. And was originally planning to do Saturday, Sunday uploads after that, but like the post-moving stuff just blew me out of the water hard enough that I'm like, man, maybe we just do one a week. It might just be every Sunday. Didn't skip Zelda 2. We're doing them in Legendary Let's Play order. That one is actually not the next one, but the one after that. Zelda 2 is the fourth, I think, in the line of stuff. I think the order goes Zelda 1, Link to the Past, Ocarina, Zelda 2, and then I think Wind Waker is going to be the one that comes after that. And then I think Battle Quest actually comes up after Wind Waker, if I remember correctly. And then maybe A Link Between Worlds. I forget where it goes from there, but we're doing it in Legendary Let's Play order as opposed to release order. Because if we were doing release order, it would have been like Zelda 1 and then immediately like Zelda LCD games and stuff like that. Like all the a bunch of spin-off stuff will probably be in its own thing. So the way that we did the original Legendary Let's Play was weekdays were kind of the 2D style games. So Zelda 1 is Zelda 2. I think we did the Oracle games, Link's Awakening, and Minish Cap, and maybe Four Swords is a weekend thing. I think those were our weekday games. Saturday we had A Link to the Past, and then I want to say we did I forget which way we did it, but I think Saturday we did one of the timeline branches, and it was like Link to the Past, Skyward Sword, Link to the Past, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword. That might have actually been it for that set. And then Sunday was Ocarina, Majora, Twilight Princess. And the weekdays are basically everything else. But oh yeah, the Hyrule Warriors stuff will be interesting. I have been playing a shitload of Hyrule Warriors as my like busy time, as just kind of my idle sort of game. I have 100%ed the first adventure map, which all on its own is like 60 hours of gameplay. Maybe 80, something like that. But I'm in the midst of doing the Great Sea now. I'm very annoyed because I want to unlock the Master Sword, but the only way to do that is to earn get all of the other weapons in the game. So that's just not happening for hundreds and hundreds of hours of gameplay. But yeah. Yeah, Sonic Unleashed is coming up soon. A lot of folks have been pointing out that there's multiple versions of the game. We know. We don't worry. We're on top of that. So you get the Master Sword, and it's got 2 locked abilities. The first one unlocks when you get all of the weapons through either level 3 or level 4, I forget which. And then the second ability unlocks when you get all of the 4+ weapons. So there's just a whole fucking bunch of stuff there, but yeah, I'm not gonna have the unlocked Master Sword until like 2025. There's just no way I will get there any sooner than that. But yeah. What I should do, I'm low-key a little bit tempted whenever I get around to the last batch of stuff, recording an episode of the last like mission or something and labeling it with whatever part number it would have to be if I was doing 15 to 20 minute episodes the entire time, just based off of whatever the Switch says the amount of time I've played is. Just go off of that, multiply it by like 3.5, and declare that it'll be far. We're already at a point where episode 300 would have come and gone. It's on the thing there right there. Oh, actually, oh no, I unplugged Hyrule. Hang on a second. I can solve this literally right now. I'm gonna do this real quick, just because now I'm curious. Because I'm curious how many hours it's actually been there. So 80 hours would be 320 if they were 15 minutes long. We tended with Hyrule Warriors to go a little bit longer than that, just because. Just because the missions tended to be just longer in general. Okay, I gotta pick the other thing there. Let me see. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, played for 95 hours or more. So 95 times 3.5 means we'd probably be in the ballpark of like episode 335-ish, we'll say. Maybe, yeah, we'll call it episode 330 right around now. If those were like, say, 17, 18 minutes long. So yeah, so maybe I'll do that as a gag. I have heard many people refer to Hyrule Warriors as a 1,000-hour game. I don't think it's quite that much, but it's certainly not going to be all that far off. My guess off of how fast I'm playing through it right now is that it's probably going to be like 500 to 600 hours for me. So what would that be? That would be around like episode 1800 or something like that. So, yeah. Oh, I know the maps get harder. I've also made a point of, whenever possible, having Link in the battle, and or going like, okay, this battle, I need to get an A rank with Tetra, and I'm allowed 2 people. So Tetra is my player 1, and Link is my player 2, and the second the battle starts, switch to Link. So Link is currently only having really cleared the first adventure map and like, God, less than 10% of the Great Sea. Link is currently level 108. I have no idea where or if the levels cap. 255. Okay. So yeah, Link, as soon as Link hits 255, I'm going to just kind of walk down the list and be like, all right, Impa, your turn. Okay, Sheik, your turn, and just one by one. I am almost at the point where I am able to fill out individual like upgrade sheets too, where you have like the attack, defense, and badge stuff. I'm starting to get to a point where a couple of them are getting very close to just complete sheets, which will be nice. We have decided it is a squirrel. Oh, I don't know if I know what that is. Oh no. Was that one of our things? I don't remember. Let me put this away. I haven't read it yet, but off on the side. I've been meaning to read this. I have not kept up with the Sonic comics at all, but I've heard Scrapnik Island is one of the better runs they've had so far. Out of a generally very good thing. Ripe and Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love. Yes. The one that is based off of The Wizard of Oz. Legitimately good game, and to this day I hold that it is the best game in the best DS game in the Zelda franchise is Ripe and Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love. I mean that sincerely. I think it is a better game than obviously the other Tingle games, but it's also, I think, a more enjoyable game than both Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. I cannot deal with the goddamn controls for the proper Zelda titles on the DS. It just bugs me too much. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the first one had an interesting gimmick. It definitely made you feel like you were having to play very carefully at all times, and it was very stressful for a lot of those. We didn't even show off the hidden boss, I don't think. But the second one is like, okay, all of that stuff is gone. It's just Tingle in a point-and-click adventure inspired by the Wizard of Oz, which, like, fuck yeah. Like, Spirit Tracks is very okay. My biggest gripe with Spirit Tracks is that it didn't learn lessons that it needed to learn from Phantom Hourglass to improve the experience. Also, a game where you functionally have no ability to explore the overworld was like mind-blowing to me. That really bothered me, that there was no overworld at all to explore. So that was kind of a bummer. Oh my god. All right, I can feel my voice going and my throat getting pretty dry, so I think I'm going to call it here. When we come back for the next one of these, it is going to be a patron-only stream like we normally do. If you want to find out more about that, head to patreon.com/dpatfm. We are going to be in the process over the course of the fall of maybe updating the tiers for that and the rewards and things. We would love to hear everyone's thoughts on those, both patrons and otherwise. Feel free to leave them in the comments below. Feel free to drop them on Twitter or on the Patreon website or on the Discord. We have our Discord as well, which it'll be in the description of the VOD. Every video we've put up for the last 6 years has had our Discord link in the description. So yeah, would love to see what you guys would like to see from us in exchange for your hard-earned cash. Also, there will be merch coming. Probably October, I would think. Maybe November, but I'm shooting for October. There is a meaty list of stuff that we're working on for merch, and I'm very excited. We may also be retiring some of our existing merch to make way for it, because Teespring is not amazing when it comes to having lots of different designs at once. It makes it a little bit weird there. What tier gets us more Dustin? That is a good question. A tier from my sparkling eye might get more Dustin to show up. I have actually been chatting with him a little bit. Hopefully we'll be able to get him out here for stuff soon. My biggest regret is that we weren't able to get him out for Resident Evil 4, because him and CJ used to play Resident Evil 4 way back. So I was hoping that we would be able to make that happen, but it was not able to happen. So, but yes, I'm gonna call it here. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. I will catch you later. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the other side of all these boxes. Bye.